Welcome everyone, Costin here on Serious Gaming. The Witcher 3 achievement list is now available. And with that, the hidden achievements as well, which talk about plot points. So, if you don't want to be spoiled, and we're talking here pretty big spoilers, then don't look at these hidden achievements. I'll provide two links in the description. The first one will give you just regular ones, while keeping the story-related ones, the secret achievements, hidden. But I'll talk about both of them. I'll talk about both the story ones and the gameplay ones. So, there are several difficulty levels in the game based off these achievements. So, finish the game on any difficulty, pass the trial, that's what it's called. Grand the Gauntlet, finish the game on the Blood and Broken Bones difficulty or the Death March difficulty. Death March seems to be the highest difficulty because there is another achievement called Walk the Path, which is finish the game on the Death March difficulty level. So, two achievements involving Death March. I guess Death March is the highest difficulty of the game, something similar to Dark Mode combined with Sane Mode. C Project has talked about the highest difficulty in The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt having permadeath like Insane in The Witcher 2, so that should be interesting to deal with. I personally will be playing The Witcher 3 on that difficulty, so stay tuned for my Let's Play on when the game comes out on May 19th. Besides that, in terms of gameplay, there's things like kill 10 enemies in a certain... actually, kill 5 enemies in 10 seconds. Ignite the gas produced by a dragon's dream bomb using a burning opponent. Do this 10 times. The brawler achievements, crossbow achievements, kill 50 human and non-human opponents by striking them in the head with a crossbow bolt, so headshots basically. Discover 100 fast travel points, destroy all monsters' nests in Velen, Novigrad, or in Skellige. Now, the areas of the game based off this achievement list are Velen, Novigrad, and Skellige. Or at least those are the main areas. There are smaller areas like White Orchard and Kaer Morhen, where you will be going back to Kaer Morhen. I don't really consider that a spoiler because the it's in the map of the fucking game. Then there's several contract achievements. I'm not sure if these count under spoiler achievements. Basically, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 major monster contract achievements. So I assume these are longer quest chains that are part of the game. Now, I'm not saying that there are only 7 monster contracts in the game. There's probably a lot more monster contracts in the game, but these are probably major ones, including that lovely vampire that we saw in the recent gameplay footage that they posted for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. My thoughts on that gameplay footage, by the way, it does look better than what we saw in more recent trailers, Elder Blood, the PAX footage, all that. It does look better, but it still doesn't look as good as Sword of Destiny. It's close, but it's not quite there. It doesn't have the same lighting effects as Sword of Destiny, for instance, and the grass still leaves quite a bit to be desired, but it does look considerably better than, say, Elder Blood. Now, story-wise, and as I said, major story spoilers. Also, I'll be talking about the leaked material that came for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt here as well. So if you don't want to hear that, pause the video right here, and thank you for watching. Now, for those of you that are interested in hearing out, well, there are several. Lilac and Gooseberries, find Yennefer. A friend in need, find and free Dandelion. Necromancer achievement, help Yennefer extract information from Skull's body. So we're probably gonna do an autopsy like we did in The Witcher 1. On one hand, I like the fact that we're gonna do something similar with that. On the other hand, because this seems to be something related to the main plot, it strikes me a bit as being unoriginal in The Witcher 3. Because we already did something similar in The Witcher 1. Family counselor, find the Baron's wife and the daughter. Now, we don't know what Baron we're talking about or anything like that, but I guess this Baron's gonna play a pretty significant role in the main story. It might have to do with an Nilfgaardian Baron, though I'm not entirely certain about that. Anyway, there's something more. Find Ciri. Pretty obvious, you're gonna find Ciri. Xenonaut. Yes, it's an interesting achievement. Visit Tir Na Leah, I know I'm butchering this, and convince the one guy to betray Eridan, who's the king of the Wild Hunt. Then there's the king is dead, defeat Eridan. Obviously, we were gonna fight the Wild Hunt, and we were going to defeat their king. I'm not sure if it's gonna be a permanent death. That seems difficult to pull off. And then we get things related to what seems to me the political situation in the various regions. So there's one achievement called Kingmaker. Complete a subplot about choosing Skellige's ruler. So we will pick Skellige's ruler. It seems they're, based off the material we have right now, based off what journalists have been shown, what they've talked about and all that, that there's a choice between two rulers, a guy and a woman. The woman is probably more of a peacemaker, might make a deal with Nilfgaard. The guy is a warmonger, a war hawk, so to speak, that might go to war against Nilfgaard. So that might affect the situation of the war in the north. Then there's, and I kid you not, Assassin of Kings. Take part in the assassination of King Radovid. I guess this decides the fate of the north. Though personally, I really hope that the fate of the war isn't decided by a single choice, that it's a accumulation of choices, including choices from The Witcher 2. Though obviously, if Radovid dies, that should play a huge impact, perhaps the biggest choice, but it shouldn't be the only thing. The north should still be able to do somewhat well, even if he dies. But keep in mind, Radovid has the single largest army. His kingdom was unaffected by the events of The Witcher 2. In fact, it came out on top. Very large army, capable troops. He's got the Knights of the Order of the Flaming Rose. He potentially has Roach and Siegfried on his side as well. And he might also have Anais. Depends on your choices. Or the mages. Again, depends on the choices you've made. So Radovid's death would mean a huge deal. Then there's Friends with Benefits. Complete the subplot involving Kira Metz. This might have something to do involving Nilfgaard. In the books, we know that Emir was eventually overthrown by a group of nobles, so we might have that in the game. And the leaked materials, based on the leaked materials, we know that it was mentioned there that Radovid could be killed there as well. It might have something, it might not actually have something to do with Nilfgaard. It might have something to do with a guy called the Inquisitor. There was a trailer with this priest talking to the plebs. Might have something to do with that guy when it comes to Radovid's death. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know for certain. Or might have something to do with Nilfgaard. My personal fantasy would be killing Radovid side by side with Lefo. Though it would be quite sad if I had to kill Siegfried and Roach. But, you know, maybe I'll do that, maybe I won't. I haven't made up my mind. If there's one thing I haven't made up my mind, and I know this was going to be a choice from the very beginning with The Witcher 3. I haven't made up my mind if I want to help the North win or if I want to help Nilfgaard win. On one hand, I like Emir, and you also have the possibility of putting Ciri on the throne of the Empire and marrying her with, based off the leaked materials. You have the ability of letting Nilfgaard win, keeping Emir as Emperor, or Nilfgaard can lose and Emir gets removed from power and gets replaced by his canon replacement. I don't remember his name right now, it doesn't matter. He's gonna show up in The Witcher 3 anyway. Or you can take the guy who replaced Emir in the canon as Emperor and marry him off with Ciri. Quite significant there. Or Ciri can die. Yes, leaked material, Ciri can die. That's why a Witcher 4 with Ciri as the main character is not gonna happen. Anyway, another thing to note here, there's another achievement called Full Crew. Bring all possible allies to Kaer Morhen for the battle. Now, this doesn't mean, reading this, you might think, oh, you know, Kaer Morhen is going to be the site of a titanic battle between the Wild Hunt and Geralt and all his allies. Probably Lefo, Vesemir, Eskel, Lambert, you know, potentially other allies. If I have Siegfried, Roach, hell, even Yorvith, you know, even if I had Yorvith fighting side by side with me against the Wild Hunt, that would be quite an epic ending. But I don't think Witcher 3 would necessarily end like that. I don't think that would be the climax of the game. Though it's gonna take place in The Witcher 3, I don't think that's necessarily how it all ends. The reason I say this is, in the leaked materials, like the leaked materials have a list of cinematics, flashbacks, all that stuff. the way it's listed, Kaer Morhen takes place. There is an attack. There is an attack on Kaer Morhen, but it takes place about midway through the game. After that, however, there's an attack on Novigrad as well, so that should be interesting. So you're gonna have a battle at Kaer Morhen. It just might not be the final battle of the game, of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Which, on one hand, a titanic battle at Kaer Morhen would be epic. On the other hand, is this really what we want CD Projekt to do? Is this really the path CD Projekt should take with The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt? Basically, going down the BioWare route. Maybe, maybe not. Depends on how they do it. Obviously, we don't have a lot of information here. We don't really know how... I mean, obviously, we know we're gonna fight Eredin, we're gonna fight Ciri. We're gonna have a battle with him. But is it gonna be at Kaer Morhen? Is it just gonna be, oh yeah, we're forming alliances, all that? Because that's basically what BioWare does in a lot of games. Maybe it would work out very well, maybe it won't. It depends on the execution and on the rest of the game, obviously. Personally, I would hope that they don't necessarily go down this route, but we'll have to wait and see. Though, yeah, Kaer Morhen is gonna be the site of a battle. And that's kind of really all that there is to talk about. There's not much information. Hell, I added a lot more for the leaked materials and anything else. But you can kill Radovid, for instance. So that's interesting. And you do have a confirmation for a battle at Kaer Morhen. That might be the ending, or it might not. What's interesting is the way that it's listed is that it's not listed next to the game ending. Like, the game ending is probably just killing Eredin after we find Ciri, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, Costin here on Serious Gaming, signing out. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for more, considerably more.